guys, welcome to another episode of the Brothers Dempsey. It's the time of year that we really look forward to coming. You have Oktoberfest. We're now in the month of September, so we're looking forward to all the great Oktoberfest beers. Of course, we had to buy them like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Which brings us to pretty much what we're doing now. We wanted to try and be current with what's going on in the beer world. And if you've, still hibernating and drinking those my box, it's time to wake up.
Wake up, people.
And smell the pumpkin.
Smell the pumpkin.
Smell the leaves burning and the,
Yeah, even though we're in the first week of September, we got a heat wave going, but...
Yeah, it's going to be a little while. But hey, you have to buy these things now, so we decided, we're going to bite the bullet. We're going to review some pumpkin beers for you guys. We're going to also do some Oktoberfest beers throughout the month.
Yeah.
So it's going to be...
You got to stay ahead of the curve. If you don't get it now, you might not get it, and then,
and that's the thing. We want to be informative, but also...
We got a few crazy ones. We got the reserve tanks we want to enjoy when the weather's right, so you guys might get a jump on us if you really want to taste it now, but this might be a good one to try now, because I don't think it's going to be super crazy harvesty pumpkin style, judging by what the concept is. But anyway, speaking of the concept...
let's talk about this one.
Yeah.
It's probably like the 15th episode where I go, I'm really excited about this, but...
I know. This is crazy, though, because I never even heard of this.
Right.
I mean,
this came as a surprise, a recommendation from our local beer maiden.
Yeah.
Beer
wench.
Shout out by name, but I forget what her name tag says. I probably know her name, but who knows.
Yeah.
So this came as a recommendation, and I heard, 21st Amendment has a pumpkin beer. Cool.
Yeah,
check it out.
They do the Hell or High Watermelon,
right.
so they've done some fruity kind of stuff before and different stuff.
We know these guys can handle their flavorings. And so when I approached the product, it was hard to find. It's this little cube. But obviously it's packaged in the style of 21st Amendment, but also some a little Elysian wild.
Very 21st. Yeah, but it's with Elysian also.
Right. So that's the other thing. So I see that, I'm like, well, wait a second, what do you mean? Oh, okay, it's a 4-pack of 2 different beers in cans.
Light and dark.
Inside the dark is the light. This is the Belgian triple.
And inside the light is the dark, the Baltic Porter.
Both with
pumpkin.
So we have 2 pumpkin beers.
Definitely a departure of the pumpkin beer world.
2 different brewers.
Yeah.
2 different brothers.
Yeah. So we got the he said and the he said.
Right. So we're gonna do.
They're both 8.2% alcohol, by the way, though. So they're both right on the same points. They're both strong, which is kind of cool. Yeah.
Nice touch, guys.
Yeah. But we thought we would do this since we saw this he said. My brother came up with a brilliant idea of, well, why don't you try? I'll try the dark one, which is the light one, and I'll try the light one, which is the dark one, at the same time, and then we'll film again, and we'll each try the opposite one. That way, we have an unbiased opinion of what each other thinks. Sometimes we talk about beers and you kind of set somebody up for thinking about what they might be thinking about the beer. Not that it always happens.
And there might be a little bit of that with this, because if I see him really like going off on it, saying it's great, I'm probably going to think it's better than maybe if I didn't. But but at the same time, we many times do beers we never had before. We don't even know how you check in on this one. On tap yet.
Yeah, because I guess they're both going to be called he
because
said.
they're both maybe he said. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll have to,
probably porter versus
I'm
whatever,
sure we could figure it out. But anyway, it's another interesting thought that came to mind when we proposed this, and I thought, what better beer to do a tasting to than he said. He said.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's the right time, and
yeah, it's the right time to drink it.
Yeah.
I'm ready to crack this sucker open. I love Baltic Porters, and I like Belgian triples too. So this is going to be really cool. Very unusual beer selections for this style of beer. I mean, pumpkins usually is your generic, you have your Sam Adams pumpkin, whatever. Most people's pumpkins are basically like an amber-colored beer with a lot of pumpkin spices, not cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, what have you. But for these guys to branch out and do a Belgian triple and then a Baltic Porter with pumpkin stuff, and this one,
this one says it's both pumpkin, but this one says spices, but it's a little less.
That one's got some tarragon and something else.
Yeah, the labeling and stuff. You have to
do
a little more research to get some of the other ingredients that is going on here.
Yeah, this one has caraway and cinnamon, and this one has some tarragon and pumpkin. So they have different types of spices. I guess that both lend themselves well, probably to the beer styles as well as the pumpkin flavoring themselves.
Right, and that's a great segue into pumpkin beers and beer styles, because for a long time, I mean, it
smells delicious. You can see the darkness versus the light, obviously.
Yeah. Color. It's the lighter triple. and the dark Baltic porter.
Go for it. You talk and I'll taste, and then I'll talk and you taste.
Okay, so about pumpkin beer, it shouldn't be anything new to anyone that drinks beer. If you aren't a beer drinker and you like pumpkin, the time is nigh, Bri. Get out there and buy some and try it out, because I think you'll really like it. But what we've seen is quite a phenomena. It seems now the yam pumpkin category is you either make one or you probably shouldn't be making beer, because it's almost like you have no choice but to make one, and the pressure's on because there's a lot of good ones that have already been out there, and they're putting certain brewers on the map, like that's their best beer.
Yeah, people really seem to choose. I mean, the IPA is kind of the standard. A lot of people make. I mean, every brewery makes 20 million kinds of IPAs, and IPAs you can mess with. You can throw anything kind of flavoring you want in there. You can fruit it. You can not fruit. You can do what you know.
But Dogfish, I mean, there's one that if they were IPA stunk, you probably would have never heard of them.
And the pumpkins are just, for some reason this year, everyone decided to say, hey, let's just go nuts in a crazy direction with pumpkin beers. It used to always be just, this is our pumpkin beer. Here we go. Now, last year you got a little
Sam
more.
Adams.
Last year, and a couple of years prior with the pumpkin and all that, you would get, all right, now we're going to have an imperial pumpkin, which is a double pumpkin, higher alcohol.
Right,
then we got pumpkins that are going to be in bourbon, bourbon casks, and we're going to do pumpkins that do this, and pumpkins that do that. Now we got pumpkins that are Baltic porter pumpkins, pumpkin pie porter pumpkins, Belgian triple pumpkins, I don't know. But, all right, while he's drinking, this is delicious. I'll tell you what, I don't think it's crazy heavily spicy pumpkin-y, but the pumpkin that it does give you really meshes well against that strong Baltic porter taste. And I know Mark's had a couple of these before. What a lot of people don't like about some of these Baltic porters is that strong raisiny feel you get from that. Sometimes you get the taste where it's really a strong, and almost the raisiny taste and the alcohol sometimes combines to be a really strong, overpowering
kind of whiny taste.
Yeah, whiny nastiness to it sometimes. And this really balances it well. This is like a dark pumpkin candle. I don't know. It's crazy. It's like really. This is like good for a really like dark, cold fall night. Tell you what.
That's part of, I think, maybe that goes into the dark and the light, the good versus the evil, right? The time-old tale. And of course, anyone who's familiar with Halloween, they know that it's the day that the souls return to the earth, and the dead live again, so to speak. So
this is tasty as hell. It's delicious, and it's not super thick. It's a little lighter palate on the palate anyway, as far as like mouthfeel goes. It's not gonna like choke you, but it goes right to you. It goes right to the stomach though. It's one of those beers that really drops heavy on you, and it's good. Awesome Baltic porter, awesome. Like I said, as far as the pumpkin notes go, I'm getting the cinnamon definitely. I'm not a big caraway fan. I don't know that I could pick out caraway in anything, to be honest with you. So I can't say I'm an expert on that, but it's really tasty. If you're a fan of any kind of Baltic porter, obviously, it's right up your alley. I mean, it's great.
Go for it.
If you're afraid you're gonna be overwhelmed by this crazy pumpkinness to it, don't even worry about it. But it's fresh and it's really good. It's tasty. It's dark. It's heavy flavor, but it's not heavy.
It's kind of emergency here.
Yeah, we gotta.
It usually goes and then it stops. This is just going on and on.
Red light special.
There it goes. All right.
That was the sound that cut me off. Anyway.
No, maybe I don't know. Maybe the one to get me to decide what I think about this beer.
Yeah, I'm interested. Give me your take.
I know. It's hard. It's definitely one that
these smells.
I want to try it.
Yeah.
I don't want to try and set myself up to say like I was wrong, but I really don't think I've devoted nearly enough time to give this one a full review.
Yeah,
I don't like to be a...
Yeah, and it's hard after a couple sips. I mean, that's what I'm trying to sip fast. A lot of these days we do these quick reviews, and honestly, sometimes you want to drink one or two. I'll drink like sometimes 3 or 4 before I'm like, wow, this is a damn, like this beer's good, but this is a really
sometimes I feel like
I
know, and this one, it's got me all over the place. But let me just start with the aroma. It's great.
Yeah. Well, the next taping we can go back to it too.
It's not a heavy spice. It's like a fresh melon taste. It's not like this pumpkin hasn't been sitting around the patch all day. That's for sure. It is a very fresh, melony.
So not like a heavy pumpkin pie kind
of
thing.
Not at all.
Like
not heavy. Not heavily spiced.
This is pumpkin pie flavor.
No real cinnamon flavor. If at all, very light. A lot more of like a fruity.
Really?
Fall. Whatever the hell that like. I don't want to say apples, but it's just got a very orchard kind of smell to it.
Farm fresh.
And taste. Yeah, this is like farmed liver.
Farmed liver. I'd venture to say, based on what you're saying about that beer and what I'm saying about this beer, I'm thinking that Elysian put a little more willpower into this one, and maybe 21st put a little more into that one, because what you're describing sounds more like their kind of style, and this one seems more, but it's hard to say.
It's funny you mention that, and you might,
we don't know any idea.
Sure.
We have no idea of how the brewing process worked or anything else.
No,
we just know both brewers are fans of each other.
Right. Yeah, the one guy went to the one guy's pub or brewery, the other guy went to the other guy's one, and they wanted to see, who was making this watermelon stuff. So obviously, 21st Amendment, Hell or High Watermelon, which we unofficially reviewed in a bonus clip, which if you're a big fan of ours, you've probably seen. If you haven't, check out YouTube already and start liking some of these videos, folks, so that we can, keep this thing going. But, yeah, cool packaging.
Excuse me. It's the first time I ever called
Cool packaging, cool.
Yeah, decent stuff. I mean,
cool idea. Just two brewers again, getting away from that more of a cutthroat competition and more into like, hey, I like what you're doing. They like what they were doing. And
yeah,
let's get together and make some awesome beer.
You notice on the alcohol front, anything really crazy high alcohol level on that one, or this one's right there? I think it's nice. It's not too strong.
A lot of times those Belgian triples too, man. That's all you get.
Yeah.
It's like if you get past the yeast a little bit, the next thing is the alcohol.
Is that alcohol, and then it burns going down.
Right.
It's like, a shot, like a really nice, tasty, flavorful kind of shot of alcohol.
It's like a speed bump. It makes you take your time drinking it.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't pound this because you're wasting all the awesomeness that's going on.
I'm kind of pounding this, though,
but
it's delicious.
It's poundable for a Belgian triple. I can say that a lot, and also without having to say it's a light beer. This is not a light beer. It's light in color. It's not the heaviest triple I've ever had by any means.
Okay.
But it's, they didn't say, oh, it's fall, you're going to wrap yourself up. I think there might have been an idea of like, people are going to be drinking this in September, and we want them to enjoy it.
Cool thing, though. I mean, really cool. I dig when guys do this kind of stuff, because it's different, it's really different. And I love to see brewers coming together and doing stuff. I think the beer can't really kick a lot of that off, and I think we're going to see more of that in the future, these guys getting together and brewing collaboration.
And there's
really
kind of some confidence in it too, which is like, if you like these two beers enough, you're going to buy those two every time.
Yeah.
And I think for any beer drinker that's willing to step outside the domestic and IPA box, step into this little box and find out about a style of beer that you might be missing out on.
Yeah.
And if pumpkin's the thing that brought you in, don't be ashamed. I mean, pumpkin beers are awesome.
It's kind of like marketing for one beer brewer's marketing for another beer brewer. So you know what I mean? I mean, I can't imagine anybody that knows 21st Amendment not knowing Elysian, but there might be people out there like, we'll try this, we'll try that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I mean, definitely neat. I don't know about the artwork, but hey, whatever.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said it. I meant it. In closing, I'd say the only negative to this beer that I could say, I think it could be a little more robust on the flavor. I really think there could be more pumpkin in this, and it would really lend itself well to this beer. This is so rich and dark, it could be almost like a pumpkin pie fest, and it would be delicious. And I like my Baltic Porters a little more on the heavy, tasty, malty, kind of crazy side. This is a little, it doesn't have all that much. You might think that it has more to you, but to me it's not. It could be a little more robust, if anything. But it's really good, though. I mean, as it is right now, it's fine. It's really good.
I think I'd have to say the same for this.
I wouldn't say it's a 5. I wouldn't say it's a 4.5, maybe a 4. I'm thinking right now. I don't know that I go 4.5, but it's definitely an excellent beer. I wouldn't say it's superior though by any means, but it's really good beer.
And to those points, I think if I had any, I really like this beer the way it is. I really do. But I would say I could do a heavier version of it, a little thicker, a little less filtered version that you'll normally see in a Belgian triple. And I think the delicacy of some of the flavors that I've been trying to pick up here would be lost a bit with that much body. But that's probably a good reason why they didn't do that. And it's still Belgian all the way. It's great.
Well said.
I'm liking it.
Nice.
Can't wait to do
I can't wait to do yours. Next episode, he said what I said. He's going to say what he said.
Yeah.
And we're both going to come up saying something stupid.
Probably. All right, guys. Thanks for drinking.
Thanks for drinking.
Mm.
Mm.
Hot mama.